Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Pointless Top 10, a show where we make top 10 lists of pointless things, where we fly and buy his pointless statue in Booty Bay, because inside pointless things are treasure. Let's begin. 10. Number 10 is the Colosseum of Light, and the Colosseum of Light is an amphitheater located on the southern edge of Karabor in the Shadow Moon Valley. And if you didn't know, an amphitheater is an open-air venue used for entertainment purposes derived from an ancient Greek word that I can't pronounce, and it means place for viewing. And this one's kind of odd for me because I love the Colosseum of Light, but the fact that it's located in Karabor just makes it kind of sad. Like, I've talked before about how Karabor just gives Dead Mall vibes, because this place was supposed to be the Alliance capital city for Warlords of Draenor, same with Bladespire Citadel and Frostfire, but with the release of the expansion's beta, everything got scrapped, and they're like, what if the faction hubs are just in Ashran? Which is really disappointing, because I think Karabor had the potential to be one of the best hub cities in the game. Like, it's so beautiful, especially this area with the architecture here, and the crystals and the plants and all the different colors and the flooring, and there's really cool ceilings even on the inner parts of the Colosseum, and it feels so wasted, right? Because you walk around here, and it looks amazing, and you're like, dude, this would have been so cool. But again, now it's just this dead mall. And if you go here, it kind of just makes you think like, man, imagine if this would have been the capital city, right? Imagine if players would have been running around here and everyone was just chilling in this Coliseum, and, you know, so many things were going on, and now it's just kind of like a big what if. Also, the shade scale toy kept glitching out, and it was like night, day, night, day, night, day. It was kind of weird. I didn't know if that was a shade scale thing or if the zones just messed up, but either way, I wanted to put the Colosseum of Light here because I think it deserves it. It's an awesome place, so that's why the Colosseum of Light is number 10. 9. Number 9 is the Circle of Blood Arena, and the Circle of Blood is located in the Blade's Edge Mountains just north of the Thunderlord Stronghold. And I always love the aesthetic of the Blade's Edge Arena. Like, it's just tucked away in the Blade's Edge Mountains, surrounded by a bunch of the jagged spears of the Blade's Edge Mountains with dragons impaled, and there's dragon heads hanging, and there's dragon skulls here. It's a very cool atmosphere. And I'm sure a lot of people remember this arena, particularly for the big bridge in the center. I know I always remember being on the bridge, and I didn't really do arenas that much. I'm not very good at arenas, but sometimes my friends would be doing arenas or something, and I'd be like, hey, you know what, I'll do some arenas, and then we'd get absolutely destroyed, but it was still fun. But I always loved when the arenas were actually accessible in the world. I thought it was really cool how you could go fly to the zone and just explore the arena without having the pressure of somebody trying to kill you. And in patch 7.1.5, they did actually update the arena to be more modernized and polished and stuff, but I don't know, I just really like this old one that has that ogre theme, and it's out in the world, and there's just something nice about that. So that's why I put the old Circle of Blood Arena at number 9. 8. Number 8 is the High Mall Coliseum, and the High Mall Coliseum is the main building in the lower section of High Mall where gladiators fight for the amusement of the Gorian Empire. And the Gorian Empire, if you didn't know, is essentially the Ogre Empire, or sometimes referred to as the High Ogres, which I thought was pretty funny because I've always heard of High Elves, but hearing High Ogres just sounds kind of weird. And there's actually a cool cutscene that happens here where Cho'Gall shows up and Imperator Margok is like, hey, how'd you get here? And he's like, you thought you could hold us prisoner, Imperator Margok? And then Cho'Gall just like blasts all the ogres that attack him, and then Imperator Margok flies away. But aside from all that, I think this is just a really cool Coliseum. Like, you have the elevator that carries you up into the actual arena area. There's like skulls with fire eyes. There's a whole bunch of cool architecture all around. You can even go there outside of the High Mall raid and see a bunch of ogres just battling with each other, like practice fighting. I'm actually not sure what they're doing. And then there's ogres up in the stands cheering them on. I think it's a really cool Coliseum with interesting lore and a great environment. So that's why the High Mall Coliseum is number 8. 7. Number 7 is the Conquest Pit, and the Conquest Pit is an underground type of arena located in the Conquest Hold in the Grizzly Hills. And if you're an Alliance player, you probably won't remember this because this is very much a Horde-specific type of arena, and it's kind of like the Ring of Blood for the Horde, where you would have to fight a bear and a furbolg and some other stuff, but the big thing here is it's all in this big underground cage, which I just think is really cool. And there's little bleachers where people can watch, and if you want to go in here, you gotta like walk down into the pit, and there's a bunch of, you know, old meat and bones and big wooden spikes all over the place. And you know, this place is not the craziest, right? Like, compared to a lot of the other things on the list, it's a lot smaller and harder to see what's going on, but I think it's very unique, right? Like the fact that everyone's sitting above this big underground cage looking down into it. I just think it's really cool. And then on the flip side, if you're the one in the cage, you look up and you see everyone staring down into you and you have like the sun beating down on you. It's really cool. So that's why the Conquest Pit is number 7. 6. Number 6 is the Ring of Trials, and the Ring of Trials, also called the Nagrand Arena, is located in Nagrand, but it's also located in Draenor Nagrand, and so you can see the two different variations of it, of how it used to be and how it is now. And much like the Circle of Blood, it's another arena that was accessible out in the world, which I always thought was cool, and it says here lore-wise, it used to be an ancient orcish proving ground, although before the destruction of Draenor, it was built using Imperial Ogre architecture. And I also really like the surrounding area of the Ring of Trials. In both Outland and Draenor, there's a bunch of little tents and shops and stuff like that. It's like this little marketplace surrounding it. I always thought that was really cool. Although the Draenor one is definitely much more lively and interesting than the Outland one, where it's just a bunch of like fruit baskets and kegs and stuff. Yeah, even though the Ring of Trials isn't the craziest arena or the most intense one, in fact, it's very simplistic compared to a lot of them, I would say it's very memorable and nostalgic for a lot of people, especially being located in Nagrand, and so that's why I put the Ring of Trials at number 6. 5. Number 5 is the Thunderdrome, and the Thunderdrome is a large cage arena in the center of Gadgetzin. And the Thunderdrome is also a very clear reference to the Mad Max series. And so you talk to this guy named Flynn in Tanaris, and he's like, "Hey friend, are you interested in excitement, adventure, money, violence? Well, you'd better like violence, because they just reopened the Thunderdrome in Gadgetzin. It was sad to see it unused for so long with, you know, the injury lawsuits and the racketeering charges and the copyright infringement, but it's back and just waiting for burly savage folk like you to enter and throw down with the foulest opponents ever." And really, the Thunderdrome cage is probably the most simplistic of any of the arenas on this list. It's just a big cage in Gadgetzin. There's like some skeletons and meat in there. Like there's really nothing special about it, but I just think it's a really funny one. And Dr. Dealwell, the fight promoter, is like, "The rules are simple. 2 men enter, sometimes there's women. 2 people enter, sometimes it's more than 2. And that means more than 2 come out. All right, only rule is stay in the drome, and there's no other rules." And so yeah, I would just say this is the goofiest arena on the list, and so I wanted to include it, and that's why the Thunderdrome is number 5. 4. Number 4 is the Demolition Dome, and the Demolition Dome is an arena located in the Undermine. And this arena appears in several instances in the Undermine, so there's obviously the Liberation of Undermine raid, where there's the big boss encounter there, and then there's also the Cage of Carnage PvP arena, the location of the world boss, the Gobfather, the challenge delve for the Underpin, and it's also part of the Dastardly Duo event that took place. But what I really love about this place is how alive the actual arena grounds feel. So if you walk around, you can find goblins selling stuff. There's a lot of vendors here. There's actually some quests involving the vendors. There's goblins just sweeping up stuff, goblins tossing stuff around, like there's people cheering up in the stands. Like it's really cool to just go to this place and it almost feels like you're going to a real sports stadium. Like it just feels so alive, and I think that's what I love about it. But I mean, I'm also just a fan of goblin stuff in general. Like I loved Undermine. I thought it was a great patch, and it was a really cool addition to the Undermine. So that's why the Demolition Dome is number 4. 3. Number 3 is Bismo's Brawl Pub, and Bismo's Brawl Pub is the Alliance Brawlers Guild location found in the Deep Run Tram in a little hidden area. And I just think there's a lot to like about Bismo's Brawl Pub. I think the aesthetic's really cool. It almost gives me like Star Wars Cantina vibes a little bit, but almost like if gnomes designed the Star Wars Cantina. And then obviously there's that hidden Fight Club vibe where it feels like you've discovered this random underground club when you're in the Deep Run Tram and like, what's this place? And you wander in and you're just like, whoa, like I always love that. And it's one of the reasons that I actually like this over the Brawlgar Arena, which is the Horde version of the Brawlers Guild. And that one's cool, like you're outside in the big stadium thing, but I don't know, I just like that underground Fight Club vibe a little bit more. And there's just a lot of goofy stuff going on too, right? Like there's a gyrocopter that's flying around. There's like a really cool bar. There's a bunch of weird, unusual NPCs like Sniffy Pete and Keith the Party Weston, which I'm actually making a Pointless Top 10 unusual NPCs that'll come out next week. That's going to include them and talk more about them. But yeah, I just think Bismo's Brawl Pub is a really cool and interesting arena. And so that's why it's number 3. 2. Number 2 is the Gurubashi Arena, and the Gurubashi Arena is located in southern Stranglethorn Vale, and it is a relic of the ancient Gurubashi Empire, which once controlled vast amounts of land in the southern regions of the Eastern Kingdoms. And I would say that the Gurubashi Arena is the most well-known arena in World of Warcraft. Like, most people that have played WoW probably know about the Gurubashi Arena. And so the big event with the Gurubashi Arena was added in patch 1.4, which is every 3 hours starting at midnight, a pirate with too much treasure on his hands would drop a chest off in the center of the arena. Whoever can open the chest first gets the contents, and of course the arena is PvP free-for-all, so everybody's trying to kill each other, whether Horde or Alliance. And I tried to participate in the Gurubashi Arena a few times, but obviously I'm not very good at the game, and back when I was also trying to do this, I was also not very good at the game, but I did think it was really fun to watch, especially being able to like sit up in the stands and just watch everybody fight. I just thought that was a very cool, immersive type of thing to have out in the world. And I'm actually kind of surprised they haven't added in more of this type of thing into the world, because I do think it helps bring the world to life, right? I mean, they do have the Darkmoon Fair deathmatch thing, and then there was like the Legion Dalaran underbelly PvP stuff, but I feel like that would be really cool to add into some of these bigger zones, right? Like, imagine in WoW Midnight if Zulaman had this type of thing, like a really big arena that you could go to and have PvP battles and fight in there, and they could even do like other events here too, right? Like, it doesn't have to be limited to PvP stuff, but I just think that'd be a really cool thing to have out in the world and to encourage player interaction and exploration. So either way, that's why the Gurubashi Arena is number 2. 1. And number 1 is the Amphitheater of Anguish, located in Zuldrak in Northrend. And I decided to put it at number 1 because there's just a lot of stuff to love about this place. So number 1 is that Gurgthok settled here, which is the goblin riding this little mammoth, and he's actually the one that organizes a lot of these Ring of Blood type events. So he's actually appeared in Burning Crusade, Wrath of the Lich King, Cataclysm, Mop, Draenor, BFA, and Dragonflight, which is pretty insane to think about that he's been in so many of these expansions. In fact, he's probably appeared more than Thrall and some of the main characters at this point. And there's 6 different boss fights here, all with varying degrees of difficulty and different aesthetics and styles, but I think Vladof the Butcher's my favorite one because he just jumps over the wall like, I'm here, and arrives in the arena, which I think is really cool. Also, up in the stands, there's goblin snack vendors, and they're throwing out popcorn and ale and peanuts, but only to the people that wave at them. So if you wave at them, they'll be like, here you go, like you're at a baseball game or something. However, if you try to buy any of those items from the goblin vendors, they actually don't sell any of it. They just got some generic stuff. Like, they don't sell any popcorn or peanuts or beer, which I thought was weird. But aside from that, the design of the amphitheater is also fantastic. There's a bunch of really cool statues all over the place with different trolls and eagles and animals and stuff. And then there's the big giant gong kind of looming over this amphitheater. And so when I really got to thinking about it, I was like, you know what? I think the Amphitheater of Anguish is my favorite arena, stadium, whatever you want to call it, in the game. And so that's why the Amphitheater of Anguish is number 1. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of Pointless Top 10. If you want more Top 10s, you can check out Starting Zone mobs from last week, or you can check out lesser known pop culture references. Also, like the video and comment down below your favorite arena or stadium in World of Warcraft. Okay? Okay. See ya.